The restaurant was nearly empty that evening. The chatter of a few families echoed softly, the clinking of silverware filling the spaces between conversations. Senator John Neely Kennedy sat alone in a corner booth, finishing up a simple meal after a long day. He wasn't in the mood for fancy politics, speeches, or grand debates. He just wanted a quiet dinner. His plate was half full, but he was tired. He leaned back, sipping the last of his iced tea, when a timid voice interrupted the calm. "Sir, a broken bar, can I have your leftovers?" John lifted his eyes, surprised. Standing by his table was a young boy, no older than 12, with ragged clothes, shoes that looked far too small for his feet, and a face streaked with dirt. The boy's eyes weren't filled with mischief or boldness, they were filled with hunger, real, undeniable hunger. For a moment, John didn't know what to say. He had seen poverty, heard stories, and fought for causes in Washington, but here it was raw, unfiltered, staring back at him in the form of a child. "Son," John finally spoke gently. "What's your name?" "Ethan," the boy whispered, his voice cracking with both nervousness and desperation. His hands trembled as he pointed toward the plate. "I'm real hungry, sir." "I'll take whatever you don't want." John pushed the plate toward him without hesitation. "It's all yours." Ethan's eyes widened as if he had been given gold. He slid into the booth across from John and began eating, carefully, almost as if afraid someone would snatch it away. John watched him for a moment as something about the boy didn't sit right. He wasn't just hungry. There was something deeper, something urgent behind those tired eyes. "Where's your family, Ethan?" John asked softly. The boy paused, lowered his fork, and took a deep breath. "Mom is real sick. She hasn't been out of bed in 2 days. My little sister's crying 'cause we ain't got no food left. I just a broken bar. I just thought maybe if I could get some leftovers, they wouldn't be so hungry tonight." The words hit John like a punch to the chest. A boy too young to carry such burdens, forced into a role no child should have to play. John's throat tightened. He wasn't just looking at a hungry child, he was looking at a cry for help. "Ethan," John said firmly, "take me to your mama." The boy's eyes widened. "You mean it? You'd come?" "I mean it." Together, they walked out of the restaurant, the boy clutching the takeout box with whatever scraps remained. The air outside was brisk, the streetlights casting long shadows as they made their way to a run-down apartment complex just a few blocks away. The building looked worn and weary, just like its tenants. Paint peeled from the walls, and the steps creaked under their weight. Ethan led him up 2 flights of stairs, stopping at a door with cracked paint and a broken lock. Inside, the air was heavy with silence, broken only by the faint sound of a baby crying. John stepped inside, and what he saw made his chest ache. On a thin mattress in the corner lay a woman, pale and frail, her breathing shallow. A toddler sat beside her, clutching a ragged doll, tears streaking her cheeks. The room was bare, save for a few blankets and a nearly empty cupboard. It was clear they had been surviving on nothing. John knelt by the woman, gently touching her hand. She stirred weakly, her eyes barely opening. "Whoa, broken bar, who are you?" she whispered. "My name is John," he said softly. "Your boy found me. I'm here to help." Her lips quivered as she tried to speak, but exhaustion silenced her. John pulled out his phone immediately. "This woman needs medical care," he told the dispatcher with urgency. "And send someone from child services. These kids need food and protection now." Ethan watched, wide-eyed, unsure whether to trust. John placed a hand on his shoulder. "You did the right thing, son. You asked for help, and I promise, you're not alone anymore." Within minutes, paramedics arrived, followed by social workers carrying supplies. The children were given warm blankets, and the mother was carefully placed on a stretcher. Ethan clung to her hand, tears streaming down his face, terrified of losing her. John knelt beside him. "She's going to the hospital, and they're going to take good care of her. You stay strong for your sister, all right?" For the first time that night, Ethan added with a flicker of hope. Over the next few days, John stayed involved. He visited the hospital, where doctors treated Ethan's mother for severe pneumonia and malnutrition. She was weak, but she was alive. Arrangements were made to ensure the family had food, proper housing, and support. And through it all, John kept reminding Ethan, "You were brave enough to ask. That's what saved your family." The story spread quietly in the community. Some saw it as just another politician doing his duty, but for Ethan and his family, it was life-changing. A simple act asking for leftovers had opened a door to help, hope, and healing. Weeks later, as John walked out of the hospital after visiting the family, Ethan ran up and hugged him tightly. "Thank you, sir," he whispered. "You didn't just give me food, you gave me back my mama." John's eyes misted. In politics, speeches and debates often drown out the human side of life, but in that moment, he was reminded of something far greater than power or policy: the responsibility to see the unseen, to hear the unheard, and to act when others turn away. And so, what began with the boy asking for leftovers ended with a powerful truth: sometimes, the smallest voice can reveal the deepest need, and the simplest act of kindness can change everything.